Okay, so I'd like to briefly cover who we are at the University of Cincinnati. There we go. Sorry, my screen is very lagging. So as you can see, we are 10 Cincinnati-based staff in our UC International Admissions Office. Our office is focused solely on undergraduate degree-seeking international admissions. However, again, as mentioned before, I am here to support you with general graduate questions that you may have with students. And our office is assisting with applications, admissions, as well as pre-arrival support. We also have our UC International Services Office, which is 13 Cincinnati-based staff, and they work with students on immigration, employment, programming, and arrival support. So they're really going to be instrumental in helping your students get all of their documents for their initial I-20 and their visa. We also have 3 global offices. We have our office in China, which was established in 2006, which has 2 full-time China-based staff. It's managed by Carrie and Grace, and they've been with us for a while, and they do a wonderful job. We also have our India office, which was established in 2009. Our South Asian manager is Mr. Sanjay Jain. He's been with us year. He started around the same time that I did at the University of Cincinnati. And we are also looking to hire another staff as well in India. And lastly, we have our Vietnam office, which was established in 2014, based in Ho Chi Minh City, and the Vietnam manager is Tan Nguyen. So just to give you a bit of a glance over the University of Cincinnati, we have over 46,000 students with 3,500 international students from 115 countries. And we have a very large, diverse student body, and UC still works to maintain a student to teacher ratio. The average is around 17 students to 1 faculty. And we are very proud of that as well. We have on average a 76.6 acceptance rate. However, it is important to note that the acceptance rate is much lower for some of our more selective programs. So that is a general acceptance rate for our whole college. Additionally, over 96% of our international students are retained from freshman to sophomore year. And we are very proud of our retention rate for our international students. So when students come here, they really feel welcomed and supported, and that UC is really a good fit for them. More about UC, we have 11 different colleges and 350 different academic programs. We have a Center for Exploratory Studies. We have internationally recognized faculty, our university honors program, and 11 libraries for our students. And we also have one of the world's most beautiful campuses ranked by Forbes magazine. It really is a gorgeous campus. It has an incredible mix of traditional and urban architecture and is very close to the downtown region of Cincinnati as well for students. So what's new? UC is test optional again for the 2022 intake for spring and fall for undergraduate students. So like we were for the last academic year, students have the option to submit SAT or ACT scores. However, if they are not able to take those tests, we do offer alternatives for students to meet those test of English and test of math requirements. So obviously we're accepting Duolingo again this year, and the general minimum for the university is 95 and the selective program is 105. And I'll talk a little bit more later about how students can fulfill that test of math requirement if they are not submitting SAT or ACT scores. It is also important to note, I will touch upon this again, that even if students are not submitting SAT or ACT scores, they will still need to submit those scores for consideration to our competitive programs. So engineering, that includes engineering and DAP. And it also is important for students to submit both that test of English and test of math to be considered for our merit-based scholarship. So those are still very important to take and to submit those scores, even though we are test optional for the 2022 year. We still rank in the top 5 for co-ops and internships among public universities, and I'll touch more again on co-ops on a later slide. And we are also very proud that this year we have achieved our 8th straight year of record-setting growth in 2020, and we have enrolled our largest and most diverse class. So we're very proud of that. We're really excited about that, what that brings to the students and our community, especially that was able to happen in a pandemic as well. And of course, I'll touch lastly on our slide near the end, I'll touch about our Accelerated College English program, which is also known as ACE. So moving on a little bit more, I'm going to talk about UC Cincinnati, studying in the United States, and the benefits of all of that. So starting with the United States is a leader in higher education with incredible opportunities. Students have opportunities for research, for co-ops, for internships, and that's both at the graduate and the undergraduate level. And really within the education system that we have in America, it offers incredible flexibility for the students as well. So students can have a wide range of courses to choose from and programs. At University of Cincinnati, we have over 350 alone. But additionally, students are able to narrow down their focus and interest even further as they select their path or particular research as they get further into their education. And as well, professors and academic advisors are really dedicated to guiding students on their academic journey, which is really wonderful. And especially at the University of Cincinnati, when we have that very, small student to teacher ratio. And of course, in the United States, there are the benefits of OPT, CPT, and possible STEM extension OPT with career and alumni networks within the universities to really help students even further. And not only does the United States offer leading higher educational opportunities, we have incredible student bodies on our campuses with a lot of diversity. So we had over 1 million international students in the United States studying in the 2018-2019 academic year. And really that's so wonderful because with so much diversity on campus, students can really experience the exciting life of campus with student organizations, events, fairs, and concerts, but it all can incorporate that culture from around the world. So students really can come to campus and meet students from all over the United States, but all across the world as well. And to get a little bit more about the city of Cincinnati, we are a mid-sized city in the Midwest region of the United States. We have around 2.5 million people in our city limits. And we're also very close, as I mentioned earlier, to the downtown city of Cincinnati. So if students want to get that more metropolitan feel directly in the city, they have that option. And we're also very close to the airport, the international airport as well, which is important for our students, of course. We have thriving art scenes. We have so much opportunity for students to experience culture. We also are known as a business hub. We have 400 of the 405 Fortune 500 companies have a presence in the city of Cincinnati, and 9 are headquartered in Cincinnati. So that's really a wonderful opportunity for students who are really looking at that co-op and internship opportunity, because the University of Cincinnati has established such a strong and symbiotic relationship with so many companies within the city. So it really cultivates that relationship and creates those opportunities for our students. And another great benefit is the affordability. So it's not probably one of the things that the first things that a student thinks about, but as an adult, I'm very cognizant of the cost of living. Cincinnati constantly ranks in the top cities for the US lowest cost of living. So the students' dollars really go further here, from everything from rent to food, from transportation to utilities. And for example, an average 1-bedroom apartment in some of the coastal cities may cost up to $1,200 to $2,000 per month. In Cincinnati, that average can be around $500 to $600 per month. So when students, are looking at everything when they're considering the finances, they're looking at scholarship, definitely. Hopefully, they'll also consider the cost of living, which is very low in Cincinnati. And this is just to give you kind of a general idea of where Cincinnati is in case you aren't familiar. We are close to a lot of other major cities within the region. So Chicago, Illinois is only about a 4.5-hour drive from Cincinnati. And then a lot of the East Coast cities like Baltimore and Washington are a short 1.5-hour drive. So we really are a central hub for the Midwest. And just a few more unique selling points. We are a top 200 global university with 50 academic programs ranked in the top 50. Again, we have a lot of those selective programs like engineering and DAP. We also have been ranked number 5 worldwide most welcoming on the International Student Barometer. This was a survey done with around 10,000 international students based on the perceptions of universities within the UK, Australia, Canada, and the US, and UC ranked 5 in providing a welcoming atmosphere for international students. So again, we are really proud of the diversity that we have on our campus and the support that we provide for our students as well. We are ranked number 1 for return on investment, and we are located in a very safe but very thriving metropolitan setting. And so if you are very familiar with the University of Cincinnati, you probably know about our CoOp program. It's definitely one of the things that we're most well known for, and a big reason why a lot of the students choose to come to the University of Cincinnati. We have maintained the ranking of top 5 co-ops and internships among all universities consistently. So we are beating out universities that are ranked like Stanford, Cornell, and places like that. Since we invented actually co-op in 1906, we are able to provide a really amazing infrastructure to our students. And again, that connection with a lot of our companies and businesses within the city of Cincinnati. And so we have over 1,600 employers that we have connections with in 22 countries around the world. And collectively, students can earn around $75 million through their co-op experiences per year, together. Co-ops and internships are required for some of our programs. So that is really important to note. And these are more, again, of our selected programs like engineering and design. They do require 5 co-ops to graduate, which means those co-op required programs take 5 years to graduate instead of 4. However, another benefit of the co-op program is that while students are participating in this co-op, they are earning money and they are not paying tuition during that co-op semester. So students really have an incredible opportunity academically, professionally, financially to participate in this co-op program. And we have students who have completed co-ops at some of the world's really most innovative and well-known companies in the world. Some include Tesla, Nike, BP, Disney, and so on. And the average co-op earning is around $10,000 per co-op rotation. You can see from the small sample schedule down at the bottom of the slide, it has a sample schedule of a co-op mandatory program with 5 co-op rotations. So you can see that starting the second year, it typically alternates with an academic semester and then returns to a co-op semester. So I'll talk briefly about some of our more popular programs, as I've already kind of mentioned so far. Our College of Engineering and Applied Sciences is very popular, and that does hold our computer science program. Our College of Business obviously includes accounting, finance, economics, but also holds our information systems program. Our College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning, also known as DAP, holds all of our design programs, but also holds other programs like architecture and urban planning. And we also have other popular majors within other colleges. So other popular majors include information technology, communication, pre-pharmacy, biology, chemistry, and of course our exploratory studies program. I'm going to try to go quickly because I know we have limited time. So the city of Cincinnati has different requirements for different programs because we are a direct admit university, so that students are admitted directly to the program they have applied to. And that can be broken down for the most part into two categories, and that would be selective and general. The selective programs, it is important to note again for those students, they will be, there are higher GPA minimums for those programs. So that's really looking at more of a 3.4 to a 3.8 or even possibly a 4.0. So to be cognizant of that when students are applying to the more selective programs. We also review applications holistically, meaning that we're also looking at the other factors and the other application materials that students have submitted. So their essays, letters of recommendation, extracurricular activities, etc. Those are all considered when we review a student for admission. So again, these are more of our selective programs, DAP, engineering, our College of Music and Medical Sciences. This has a priority early action deadline of December 1st, and students who are interested in these programs really need to meet that December 1st deadline. It is very important that they get everything in and submitted completely by December 1st. It also is important to note CCM has slightly different, of course, admissions requirements. So students interested in that should also be cognizant of the application requirements and deadlines. They are encouraged to take the SAT, ACT. It definitely helps. But again, if they can't, we offer options for students to submit test of English and test of math in different ways. And again, these GPA requirements and score requirements will be higher in our selected programs. For more of our general programs, as you can see, those are going to be our College of Arts and Sciences, Education, Criminal Justice, and Human Services, which holds our Information Technology program, our College of Business, Allied Health Sciences, and our Exploratory Studies. The rolling admission deadline is March 1st. And again, it is optional for that SAT or a combination of test of English and test of math scores outside of the SAT. The minimum GPA is around a 2.7 and the average GPA is 3.2 to 3.7. So how do students apply? For the undergraduate application, students will really need to apply online using the common application for first year direct admission. Students who are applying for first year conditional, transfer direct, and transfer conditional also use an online application, and all graduate programs as well use an online application. They must submit all secondary school transcripts, and they must include an English translation if it is necessary. And this is where I'll touch back on the different ways that students can submit that proof of math and proof of English ability. Again, it can be SAT or ACT, but we also accept for test of English, IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, Duolingo, and IB. And for our math, we are offering the same as we did last year. We have an in-house free online math placement test students can to fulfill their math requirement. The application is open now for undergraduate programs, and if students start that application, they're welcome to take and register our free online math placement test. That's on our website as well. This is just to give you a quick look for English score minimums for undergraduate for the different types of scores that we accept. And we again have added Duolingo with a 95 for general and 105 for selective. So again, just touching back to this math placement test, it is the alternative for the test of math score instead of the SAT or the ACT. It can be taken online, it is free, it can be taken around the world, and it is really important. Again, I want to just mention one more time the importance of students submitting both test of English and test of math in some form for those selective programs. And if they really want to be considered for scholarship, they must submit those tests and math scores. So it's very important that they submit that and take it in some form. Our early action deadline, as I mentioned again, is December 1st. So students applying to those more selective colleges and programs really need to meet that December 1st deadline. Our rolling deadline is March 1st, and that will remain open for all programs who still have availability, and definitely for more of the more general programs. Our decision day is January 24th this year. So that means that any students who have met that early action deadline of December 1st, they will receive their decisions all together on January 24th. And that includes their admissions decision and their scholarship decision. So it's an exciting day for students, especially if a lot of friends are applying together. They'll all be able to receive their decisions together. And then, of course, we have housing and orientation and confirmation deadlines later in the spring. And I do briefly want to mention as well some other options for students. We do have 2 branch campuses still located in Cincinnati, but around a 20 to 30-minute drive from our Uptown main campus. So we have our UC Blue Ash campus and our UC Claremont campus. This is a good alternative potentially for students who are just below or are struggling with the university minimum requirements. So they can consider either of our regional campuses for that. It's also a nice option for students who are looking for a slightly cheaper tuition. It is definitely a lower price at our Blue Ash and Claremont campus. What some students choose to do is they can start their first 2 years at our Blue Ash campus and then transition for their second 2 years to main campus. That's definitely a possibility. So if students are interested in that, they should definitely reach out to us. We will help them decide what program they're interested in. It is also important to note, though, that our regional campuses are not really recommended if students are interested in our more selective programs. So it is more specific programs that they're available online, or available for those regional campuses. And applications still go through us. So again, if you have any students who are interested in those regional campuses, we are happy to help them through that process and answer any questions. I'm going to go ahead and just show this screenshot real quickly of the kind of general breakdown of tuition costs. So we have a few different tuition costs shown here. We have for our main campus, our UC Blue Ash campus, our UC Claremont campus, our ACE program, and our graduate programs. Graduate programs do vary by program, so this is important to note if students are looking at the graduate level.
Hannah, I think your screen is stuck on English score minimums. It might try to, yeah.
Okay.
I just saw your mouse, so there you go. You could try to stop sharing and reshare if you can't get it to.
Okay.
There we go. We see.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go back over a little bit again. Hopefully you can see. This is the tuition rates. Again, it's broken down by main campus, by Blue Ash campus, and Claremont campus, our ACE program, and our graduate program. So again, the graduate programs the pricing does vary, the tuition does vary by program. So it is important to note that if students are looking at the graduate level to contact the program directly for tuition rates.
And I do want to jump in here a sec and just share that we have had, as you can see, of course, UC Blue Ash and UC Claremont have a much lower tuition rate or overall cost of living. Those campuses may be an option for some students, specifically Blue Ash, but really we encourage you to work with Hannah and I if you have students interested in our branch campuses, because they are very different from our main campus in terms of kind of what student offerings they have, what program offerings, but also what accommodations they have. So UC Blue Ash and Claremont are both more of that kind of community college or commuter campus feel. Neither of them have housing. And while there is a shuttle from main campus to Blue Ash each day, there is no shuttle to Claremont. So if you have students interested in that program, they would have to have, have their own accommodation that's, closer to the Claremont campus, which is about 30 minutes away from main campus, but also be prepared to buy their own car. So it's not a great option for your traditional student. So I just wanted to plug that if you do have students interested in these branch campuses, definitely make sure you're communicating with either us or our global team so we can help you understand if that's a good option. We did have a few students not quite understand what they were getting themselves into with signing up for the branch campuses this year. So definitely just make sure you're working hand in hand with us if you have students that are applying for those campuses.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. Great point. It definitely is a different feel. So students if students have a certain idea of what they want from a college experience, it's definitely important to note the differences in our regional campuses versus our main campus. So thank you so much, Sarah. And as you can see, I'll go back again to the tuition. As Sarah has already pointed out, as you can see, the tuition cost is lower for the regional campuses, but there is more to consider as well, considering location and program availability. But the cost is broken down for each campus and each program. So the ACE program as well as graduate in terms of tuition, estimated living expenses, health insurance, which brings the total for a first year to a freshman at main campus around $46,290. So that would be their total cost is what they would be looking at for their initial I-20. Now, again, if students choose to live, students are required to live on campus for their first year. So that is where that estimated living expense comes in, and that does cover room and board. But after the first year, students are welcome to live off campus with their friends if they want to find an apartment close by. Again, Sarah mentioned, we do offer a UC shuttle that can take students around campus if they choose to live off campus. But they're also welcome to stay on campus as well. And kind of continuing on with the financial aspect, definitely students are always wondering about scholarships. So that's definitely an important question. All students, all international students are reviewed for scholarship automatically with their complete application. Again, I'll mention it again one more time, but students have to submit proof of math ability to be considered for scholarship. So even if their program does not require that they submit tests of math scores, they should still submit them to be considered for our scholarship. And then of course, everything else that is needed for the application as well needs to be submitted fully. And the range for scholarship is around $1,000 per year to around $15,000 per year, with the average award of around $8,000 per year. And all of our scholarships are merit-based. We do not offer any need-based scholarships. So again, that's why it's really important for those students to be submitting those test scores. But again, hopefully students will be able to consider a lot when they're making this decision. Not only financially, there is the scholarship component, there is the co-op opportunity, and there's the cost of living, but there really is the benefit of course, the diversity and the support that we can offer our students at UC. So hopefully they'll consider all those factors. Oh, is my screen frozen?
Tuition rates, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry. I am working from home this morning, and I think my internet is a little bit lagging with Zoom. Let me see if I can get this going. Are you able to see it now?
You're still on tuition rates. I'm gonna try stop sharing and then resharing, maybe? Or I can pull it up and try.
Sorry about this, everyone. I went ahead and stopped sharing. I don't know, Sarah, if that has stopped on your end as well.
Yeah, it stopped sharing. So if
Okay.
by resharing, I'll let you know when it comes up. Does anybody else, if you have questions about scholarships, please feel free to utilize the chat box, or you can wait till the end of the session. But we do award what we feel like are fairly generous scholarships every year. It really is kind of a holistic process on how our scholarships are kind of determined. We have to work with the individual colleges. So there you may see, if you're working with a large number of undergraduate students, a discrepancy in student profiles and award amounts based on their major. And in part, that's because a significant amount of their total scholarship package is determined by the program they are being admitted to. So for example, our computer information technology program, if they want to be a little bit more generous or aggressive with their scholarshiping, they might award more for a student with one profile than a student that is an incoming computer science major, for example. So if you have questions on that process, please feel free to work with us, to work with our global teams. We're happy to kind of explain how that works. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. Scholarships are, there's no separate application, so we review a student at the time they are admitted.
And it looks like my screen has completely frozen, but I can still hear you.
Hannah, do you know where I can take over, but I don't have the most recent PowerPoint. Do you know where that is? If
you want to just go ahead and continue.
Yeah. I don't have the one where it's updated, but I'll use the old one that's on our website. Sorry about this, guys. 1 second. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
So I think I left off on our ACE program. If you would go ahead and take the program, talking about that slide, I'm going to go ahead and leave the Zoom meeting and try to come back in.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. Thank you, Jagasa. I appreciate it. All right, I will take over. Sorry about this, technical difficulties. I'm sure we all know something about that in the years of COVID, but I will move on to our ACE program. Again, scholarships, a big one. I know that's a big factor with a lot of your students. So please work with our team if you have any questions on the scholarship piece of this. But moving on to our ACE program. So ACE is our in-house accelerated college English program. It is our internal pathway program, but we don't like to use that word because it's very different from the traditional pathway programs that you know of, the Intos and Shorelights. So our pathway program is currently entering into its 4th year. It is a 4-year program, so it is not a 1+4, it is a 1+3. Students enter the ACE program and upon successful completion of their 1st year, they are admitted and taking classes into their major of choice. They are directly admitted into that major of choice. So it's no, you complete your 1st year of the ACE program and then you maybe will get admitted into a select major. It doesn't work that way. If you are admitted into the ACE program, you're admitted into the ACE program and your major of choice, and you will matriculate on to your full direct program after successful completion of your 1st year. This is predominantly for students who are just under our English minimum requirements. So, you know, the 6.0 or, you know, something like that, just under our Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS English requirements is what this program is for. And they really benefit from kind of that intrusive advising and support of our ACE program manager. So they will have kind of a lot more hand-holding, hands-on approach, and they'll be with an ACE cohort. So all of the students in our ACE program are currently taking classes in their major. They usually take 1 to 2 major-based courses immediately, and then they're taking ESL classes that also satisfy other college requirements. So they'll take public speaking, but it will only be within ACE cohort. They will take courses in kind of multiculturalism, but it will only be in an ACE cohort. So it's a really great option, again, for students who are just under our English minimums, but really require a little bit more support in order to kind of matriculate into kind of a full program. Note that it is not available for all majors at the University of Cincinnati. It's available for all majors in our College of Business, College of Arts and Sciences, Computer Information Technology, and then select programs in DAP, CCM, and our College of Engineering. And it also is no additional cost. So there's no additional time, no additional cost. And it can be a really great option, again, for students that just need a little bit of extra support. So feel free to work with us if you have students that might be a good fit for this program. So this is Forgive Us, but we just updated our new agent training session, and I don't have the updated copy. It was just finished yesterday. It will be available on our website probably within the next day or two. So we'll get that uploaded. Hannah is going to cover all graduate information in collaboration with colleagues from College of Engineering, Information Technology, and our Business Analytics Information Systems programs next week. So look out for the link that will invite you to that training. We hope to see you there. But I'm going to skip the graduate slide and just talk a little bit more about kind of the logistics. So claiming students, we have on all of our applications, first year transfer, ACE, conditional, graduate, a spot where students can indicate if they're working with an agent and what agent they are working with. That is where students should select your agency. If you want to verify that this student was tagged to your agency, feel free to send Hannah an email and she will shoot one right back saying, yes, we got you, you're good. You do not have to attach a cover letter. We have not done that for a few years. The system has worked pretty well for us. In terms of assisting students, and this is probably the most critical, please ask questions if you are unsure of anything. We have a great team in the Cincinnati office. We have a great team around the world, and we are really here to support you and provide any advice. We love doing more collaborative events. We love doing marketing events. We want to know anything we can do to make your job easier, because when you succeed, we succeed. So it's great. So please work with us throughout the year. Please consider us for any kind of fairs or marketing events you may have. We do partake in those from time to time, and we're always open to new opportunities to collaborate. Lastly, I'm going to plug, if you have not been to our main international website or our social media accounts, please check them out. Please encourage your students, especially those that have shortlisted UC, to follow us. We have a great team of student ambassadors, current students, and then our marketing team in the Cincinnati office that are doing some really fun things on the social media end. And it's the best place to really get an understanding of what it's like a day in the life of an international student at UC. So I highly encourage you to check out all of those resources. You can find us on WeChat. You can work with our China team if you are in China. But we're all over the web essentially. So please feel free to check out our resources. We also do have, if you go to our YouTube, you'll see a new promotional video that we have that you are free to check out and use as you're working with students. But a lot of new things coming down the marketing pipeline in our office that we are very excited about. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and turn on my video and open up to questions. So it looks like we have a few. I'll go ahead and start with that. Does the transfer application have to be done from the UC website itself? So yes, in terms of transfer admissions, it depends on whether a student's prior credit was received outside of the US versus inside of the US. But we have all of the application steps on our website. So I am going to share that right now. Again, all of our admissions requirements are on our website. Okay. If it was earned outside of the US, we do typically require a NACIS evaluation, not always. Work with our transfer manager. His name's Jason Chambers. He's great. He will help you throughout the transfer admissions process. The scholarship slide, yes. So let me pull that up really quickly.
And sorry, everyone, I want to apologize one more time, some technological issues. So thank you, Sarah, for taking over.
Yes, it happens to the best of us. So Let me pull up the scholarship slide one more time so you can get a screenshot of it. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Can you see the scholarship slide? We good? Hannah, can you see the scholarship slide?
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. So again, scholarships automatically considered at the time of application. We do, if students have not taken the SAT, ACT, they need to take that proof of math, the math placement test, as well as an English proficiency test to be considered for scholarship eligibility, regardless of the program. It's a free test. It's online. It's proctored by our testing services office. It usually takes less than an hour to complete, but it's crucial not only for our more selective programs if students are not submitting the SAT, but also for scholarship eligibility. Typically, our scholarships range from $1,000 to $15,000 per year, and our average award last year was about $8,000 per international student. Also want to note, as I mentioned, a lot of that funding comes from the individual colleges, so some programs are more aggressive in their scholarshiping than others. You'll see kind of a variance of the scholarship awards across the board. Also, we had, as Hannah mentioned, fall 2021 census date was just a few days ago, so we don't have final numbers yet for our university, but I believe we have welcomed our largest new incoming class of international students in the history of the university, which is awesome. We also have welcomed one of our highest, at the undergraduate level, our highest achieving classes with the average GPA of a 3.7. So it doesn't mean students that are under that GPA will not receive a scholarship, but just know when the average is a 3.7, it needs to be around that, plus the holistic factors in the test scores, if they have it, to be considered for those competitive scholarships. Additionally, for our selective programs, so any programs in our College of Engineering, CCM, or our College of Design, we need to receive the application, all of the supporting materials, and they need to have taken the NPT if they are not submitting SATs by December 1st. So I know we have a lot of students that like to wait, but if they want to position themselves to be considered for top tier scholarship awards and our more selective programs, they really need to get on all of those materials by that deadline. Other questions? So one thing that'll come to my mind that I will bring up is that the university did just announce relatively recently, upon FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine, that we are now mandating vaccination for all students, faculty, and staff at the university. So that mandate will go into effect, I believe October 15th is the time where everyone has to have their first shot. There will be more details to come as this affects new incoming international students for the spring and fall terms. Students have in the past been able to access and receive the vaccine on arrival on campus for free. I imagine that will continue, but again, if you have questions about that, or students or families that have questions about that, feel free to reach out to Hannah, and she'll point you in the right direction in terms of resources on the kind of COVID response of the university. Yeah, and I can share the link for UC Public Health.
And I'll give this a few more time for questions as well. We have around 8 more minutes if anyone has any more questions. But again, I do apologize that I had some technical difficulties. Sarah can attest. Technology has not been my friend this week, but we will be, we do have a new resource for you as well. We have graduate guides that are updated for you. Again, we'll be having a separate graduate agents webinar next week, September 15th at the same time, so that we hope that you can attend. We will have guest speakers from the graduate departments at some of our key colleges where students are really interested in the programming. So that includes guest speakers at the graduate level from our engineering programs, which includes computer science, our College of Business, as well as our College of Education, Criminal Justice, and Human Services, which holds our information technology program. So if you do work with international students who are interested in the graduate level, this is a great way to get some of your more in-depth questions answered. So again, that invitation will go out tomorrow with the registration information. We also have a new graduate guide. I don't know if you've utilized that in the past. It is on our website, and we are very proud to present to you. Sarah has just pulled it up. Thank you, Sarah. We have worked all summer on an international agent handbook, and this is a free resource for you to use at any time. It will be located on our website. We can also send the PDF to you. But there is really helpful information on not only working with us as an agent partner, including commission payments and contracts and things like that, but also student life, academics, our different colleges, our tuitions. Really, we tried to fit as much information that we could fit in as possible that would be helpful to you through your working with students through this year. So again, we'll give this information to you on our website, but we'll also be happy to provide you with the PDF. So we really hope these resources will transition some of the questions that you have and make it easier and accessible for you in one access place. And we have, you're welcome, a few more moments for questions.
Sorry, so just to understand the vaccination bit of it that Sarah was talking about. So the students can, if they're already vaccinated from another country, there are the requirements on which vaccinations are allowed?
Yeah, so great question. The University of Cincinnati, all of our COVID policies are created and crafted by UC Public Health. To my knowledge, on that link shared, there should be information about accepted vaccinations. The last time that I was in touch with UC COVID Health, it was all vaccines that were WHO approved. That includes AstraZeneca, Indian Serum Institute. It includes Sinovac. It includes, of course, Pfizer, any of the American-made Pfizer, Moderna. Yeah. But it should be on that link listed. Typically, anything that is WHO approved students will be considered vaccinated status if they upload proof of that vaccination.
All right, so I'm going to go through that link and hopefully I should be able to find my answers there. But I think the only question that we do tend to get from students is, what if they're already vaccinated from India and they have something that's not approved in the US? So what happens in that case? Is that something that you think would be covered in the link? Because I will go through it, but if you happen to have the answer to that.
Yeah, so this year this coming fall, we did not require students who were vaccinated to do any kind of mandatory isolation or quarantine. Now they had, and this is not determined by our office, it's not determined by UC International. They have to follow the steps on pre-arrival for UC Public Health and get a clearance from UC Public Health that indicates, yes, we consider you vaccinated. And they will give step-by-step instructions on what their arrival will look like, whether they need to quarantine, isolate, or practice enhanced social distancing on arrival. But this year, we did not have many students, if any, to my knowledge, that fell under the umbrella of I've been vaccinated in my home country, but it's not, recognized by the university. Most, again, if it's been recognized by the World Health Organization, it's recognized by the university. So I don't know what public health will say if they have students that have been, I know there are a few like an Uzbeki vaccine that is not recognized by the World Health Organization. So I know that situation can't exist, but I don't know that it presented itself this fall. Public health, if you can't find your answer on that link, let us know and we can reach out to our colleagues in public health and try to get an answer, especially if you have a specific vaccine that maybe widely used in India or South Asia. That would be helpful for us to know, so we can.
So we are
as well.
Yeah, so we are actually compiling a list for that, and just so that I will try and collate it and sort of compare it with the link that you have. So, and then if there are any differences, I will kind of raise them with you, and we'll see what we can do about those cases. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Cool. Do we have any other questions? We're about at time.
Think we might have reached the end of our questions, but of course, you can definitely reach out to us at any time. Please don't hesitate. If you have any questions about admissions or vaccinations or anything related at all, we're happy to help. So thank you everyone so much for attending today. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your assistance. We will have this recording available, and I hope we can see you next week at our Graduate Agents webinar as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.